Hey everyone, here for Talking Race Walking, and it's a quick video for me, so nothing exciting. There won't be photos or text flying across the screen, but it's gonna be a quick chat because it's a question I get a lot from people that send me sort of messages here or on the Instagram channel, and it's about training. Set me up a training program. What do you need for a training program for race walking? For those of us who also run or were runners before we took up race walking, it's not so much of a mystery. It's very similar. If you're training for, say, a marathon in race walking or a 20K and a half marathon, they're very, very similar. Running and race walk training, if you take out the practice of technique and the drill work, the core stuff is basically the same. Race walking takes a little more time than, say, running at the same level. But otherwise, the principles are very much the same. And it's kind of this up and down thing. So what I mean is, I don't want to say like micro, macro, that type of thing. But within a week, you're going to have harder and easier days. So within a week of training, you're going to have a rest day or a very easy day. And that's where you recover, you allow your body to build up. And then you're going to have usually 2 to 3 workouts during the week, depending on when it is in the year and what you're training for. And those are going to be separated. So sometimes it works out to be like a Tuesday, Thursday workout. And then perhaps something like hills or tempo on Saturday. And then Sunday very often ends up being sort of the longer session. So the week fills in pretty quickly. You've kind of got Monday is sort of an easy off day usually. And then you've got a workout, you've got an easier day between where you're recovering and from the one workout and then moving to the next. On Thursday, Friday is usually a little bit easier. Saturday you've got tempo or hills or something else. And then you've got that long session. And then you repeat that. But as well, within the week, you've got those ups and downs. Going from week to week, you can't keep building as well. So you want to have, whether it's, 2 weeks where you build and then come back down an easier week and then back up in an easier week. And then within a year, it's the same thing. So you're going to have that competitive, you're going to build, so you're going to have that sort of base training where you're building up fitness, you're getting strong again, and then you're going to build in some speed and sort of work on your goal pace and everything else. And then you're going to fine tune things as you get towards that goal race. So that's kind of the competitive season where you're building up, you're training hard, then you hit that goal race. And then usually after that, there's some downtime in the year where you ease off, you take a break for a few weeks, and there might be a month or two where you're just kind of taking it easy. You're not hammering away. You're not doing a lot of workouts. It's just easy training. And then you build back in again. So you're giving that body time to recover. So remember, so there's ups and downs within the week, and then the weeks go up and down, and then the months within a year as well. You're not always going up. So you're building up to your competitive season, you're working through that, you hit some goal races, and then it's time to recover. Easy time, and then build back up again. So those are the key things to sort of remember in your training. And when you look at running workouts and how they put together things, once again, it's not rocket science. Go grab a book on training. If you can't find anything specific to race walking, if you grab something for, say, distance runners or middle distance, choose the training for running that is the same for your distance. If you're training for a 10K race walk, 10K running training is very similar. It's the idea being that you build up a base of fitness, you do intervals that get you used to the pace that you're going to do during your race. You do some intervals that get your body used to going faster than your race pace. You do sort of tempo work, which is kind of not quite race pace, just below. And that gets you used to as well, sort of working at that sort of that level that's really working the body. You have your recovery days, and then you've got hills and everything else that sort of mimic not only speed work but actually going up inclines. So I know race walking tends to be very flat, but some hill work, at least at a certain incline, can be definitely beneficial. And then those long sessions can be just for pure endurance, where you're going a little bit slower. As well, they can be where you put in either an entire session at close to race pace, or you put in sessions or sections of that long run where you're practicing holding that race pace for that distance or part of the distance that you would be training for. So those are some of the principles in terms of training. But really, it is very similar to running. So if you want to get an idea, look, there's a lot more information on running programs for marathons, half marathon, 10Ks, all that type of thing. Look at the principles. The principles are very much the same. Race walking just takes a little bit longer. So you have to take that into account when you're training. But otherwise, the principles are very, very similar. And there are books out there as well. My friend Dave McGovern's got one big, thick sucker here. And he's got all kinds of walking. So he's got sort of power walking, he's got race walking, various distances, some examples of training plans. And once again, I've kind of brushed over some of the, the training sessions, like doing intervals and that type of thing. Because you can really get into things. But once you get a feel for that basic setup, like I say, and then sit down and plan out when you're planning your training, look at your year, your goal races, and when they are, and sort of plan out that base period of building up the strength, and then towards the end, when you get really strong and you start feeling faster, that's when you're really tapering to that key race. You're getting sharp. You're making sure you're fast and you're the pace. You want to cut down on quantity and get right down to that quality, so you're really sharp for that key race. So when you do that, you'll start to see how things go. And it's usually around 3 months of really hard training that tends to be what limits a lot of people. Our bodies tend to break down after a while. So after you've done some base work and you're ready to really work hard and train towards that goal race, it's usually in that sort of 3-month mark. That's usually it's the max for most people. You've done a lot of base, a bunch of months building up, and you've got 3 months of solid training towards some goal races. And within that, you might have races, and you might be able to race a little bit beyond those 3 months. But after a while, if you've kind of done 3 to 4 months of base training, or maybe even 2, depending on how fit you are before, you've got 2, and then you've got 3 months of training, that's 5. Maybe you do another couple months of racing and squeezing out, training and racing. So you've got 2, you've got 3, you've got 5, 6, 7 months. And then after that, about 7 months of training, you're going to need, and racing, you're going to need some downtime. You might need some downtime and either build back up again, downtime and some easy stuff and then build back, or you might be able to take some downtime and still do a few races afterwards. But it is all about that, training hard, letting the body recover within the week, within the month, and within the year. So I hope that makes sense to you. I'll try and do another video as well where we talk about some specific stuff, like, if you're not familiar with intervals and tempo work and pace work, we'll get into that more. But I hope this sets you up well, gives you an idea of how training works. Okay, and we'll get more into detail about sort of paces and timing and intervals and how long and 200s and 400s and can you do it on the track and can you do it on the road? What do you do? I'll have some more answers for you soon. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too boring. Maybe next time I'll sort of put some pictures up on the screen as well, but this will be the first video where we talk about training. Good luck out there. Send me some comments and send me some questions, and I'll try and answer some.